Hello, spy lovers.
Oh, that's just tea.
I'm Jimmy Bond, and this is Spies Like Me. Today I'm coming to you from the heavily fortified city of Jericho, a city currently surrounded by the army of Israel. 2 Israelite spies have taken cover there in the apartment of a woman named Rahab. And when she comes back in, we'll get a word from her. Rahab? Excuse me, are you Rahab?
That depends. Are you with the secret police?
No!
Then, I am Rahab.
Rahab, I understand you are harboring 2 Israelite spies.
I know nothing of these spies.
But I know they're here. It's written down in this book.
You have me mistaken for another female. I do not have any spies here.
It's okay. You can be honest with me. I'm not the secret police.
If you were the secret police, you would say you were not the secret police.
Oh, I see. Well, listen, Rahab. Let's suppose some spies came to see you.
Which they did not.
And then they asked you to hide them.
Which they did not.
Why would a person like you choose to help them?
That's a silly question. I would never help spies.
I see. I see.
But if I did choose to help spies,
Yes?
perhaps I would choose to be on the side of good.
Side of good? What do you mean by the side of good?
Perhaps I know that the God who sent the spies is good. Perhaps I know my people are bad. Perhaps I help spies because I choose to do good when no one else will.
Oh, I see. So you choose to help the spies who were sent from God's people because you chose to be on the side of good, even though everyone else in Jericho is choosing the opposite?
You put the words in my mouth. I never help the spies. You are quite insane.
I am?
But yes, if I help the spies, it's because I choose to do good.
That's good enough answer for me. I know it's not easy doing the right thing when everyone else does the wrong thing, but God can give us the courage to be like Rahab and choose good, even when everyone else doesn't. Thank you, Rahab. You've taught us a lot.
You have learned nothing from me. You will forget you ever met me. And do not look on the roof when you leave.
Ah. That's all for this week's show. I'm Jimmy Bond, and I'm going back undercover.
Alright. You figured it out?
We mixed it around.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, good job on the secret missions, everyone. Alright, so, as you know, we're talking about Spies of the Bible, and today you probably guessed already which story we're jumping into. Anybody? Eli?
The one on the board.
Well, that's the Bible verse. Well, what story in the Bible are we going to do today?
Psalm 46 verse 1.
That's our Bible verse. Did you catch who the skit was about? Who was in the skit? Cohen?
God.
Yeah.
Joshua.
Well, before Joshua, yes, Joshua was sending out more spies, right? And he was sending out spies to spy on Jericho this time. And who was the person that helped the spies? Do you know, Noah?
Mullet?
Pardon?
Like mullet?
Well, her name starts with an R. Alia? Close. Micah? Rahab. Yes. So, we're going to pick up in the Bible. So, last week we saw 12 spies go look at the promised land. Moses sent them. And 10 said, whoa, too scary. We should not do that. And 2 said, yes, with God with us, we can have that land. Right? And so now it's been 40 years. And those 10 spies that said, we can't do this, they're gone, and now there's a new generation, and Joshua's leading them. He was one of the spies that said, God is with us. And now he sent 2 spies to check out Jericho, and that's where they met Rahab. So we're going to pick up that story. It's in Joshua 2. Alright, so Joshua sent out 2 spies. He said, go check out Jericho. And they were able to stay with a woman named Rahab. And the king of Jericho found out that they were there. And he was like, that's not cool. So he sent a message to Rahab and he said, bring out the men that are in your house. And she had hidden them. And in fact, she had hidden them on the roof. Back then, they had roofs that were made of like straw and flax, so that they had flat roofs. So they were on there, and then she piled stuff on top of them, so you couldn't see them. They were hidden. And then she kind of told them that they weren't there. And so the king's men left, and they kept hunting for the spies. And they had left the city. And then Rahab went down, and she told the spies, you know, I know the Lord has given you this land, and we are very afraid of you. And everyone who lives in this country is in fear of you. We've heard how the Lord has carried you through, let you cross the Red Sea, and how you came out of Egypt. And so she was believing in God. She believed that he was strong. And so she asked the spy, she's like, I'm saving you, so will you please save my family? When you come and take over Jericho, can you save my family? And so then the men said to her, if you save our lives, we'll save yours. But you can't tell anyone what we're doing. And we'll be kind and faithful to you if the Lord gives us this land. So the house that Rahab lived in was part of the city wall. So she let the spies down through the window to get outside of the city. Right? And then the spies said, okay. And they said, so you need to listen to what we need you to do. So they told her to tie a red rope in her window. And so that would mean that they're going to save Rahab and her family. If everybody's in there and there's a red rope in her window, that means that she's trusting that God will save her family. Right? And so she said, I'll do that. So she put a bright red rope in her window. She brought all her family to her house. And then the spies, they made it safely back to Joshua. And they told him that the Lord has given us this land. So, that's kind of an interesting story, isn't it? Right? So, let me just see where we are here. Right, so Rahab knew that the arrival of the spies meant one thing, that the Israelites were coming, and there was nothing the people of Jericho could do to stop them, because the Israelites were God's chosen people. And so while everybody in her city chose to not follow God and not believe in God, she helped the spies hide and escape. So she was choosing to do good even when nobody else was doing it. She was choosing to do good and serve God rather than go with her town, because she could get in big trouble for doing this in her city, right? And Rahab and her family were spared because she was not afraid to do what was right. She risked her life to serve God and his people, and God rewarded her. And Rahab's story shows us that when we take a stand for God, even when no one else will, God will bless us. So there's many times in life where you feel like you're all alone, where you're the only one doing what's right, and everyone around you is doing what's wrong. So you might be choosing to do the unpopular thing, but the popular thing you know is wrong. Right? So sometimes it feels like we're all alone in doing what is right. But we know that the Bible tells us that if we stand for God's truth, that he will be with us, even if it costs us friends, or costs us money, or costs us many different things, right? It's important when we know what God wants us to do that we do it, even if we're doing it alone, right? If we're standing up for a friend at school when nobody else is standing up for them, right? It might feel like you're all alone, but God is there with you, helping you do what's right, right? And sometimes doing what's right means being left at home or left alone, right? If everybody's going to a big party, but you know that stuff going on at that party is not good, then you're the one that's left at home, and you're going to hear all about that fabulous party and how wonderful it was, but you know there was stuff going on at that party that wasn't right. And so sometimes you might feel alone in that, but, right, but having the courage to stand up for what is right is important, and God will bless us for that, right? Right, and doing good sometimes means that, yes, that we'll be alone, or, right, but we're choosing to do what's right, and so maybe that means instead of buying the brand new thing that we want, we are giving it to the women's interval home this month, or right, using our time and our resources to do good instead of making those bad decisions or the decisions that everybody else is making. Right? We're standing alone. Following God isn't always the most popular thing to do. It never has been. Because we're all born sinners and we all have this selfish desire to do what we want to do and what everybody else is doing other than following God. But God can use us as a light to others. And it's not easy, and sometimes it's really, really hard, but it's always worth it. So when the opportunity comes to choose good or choose bad this week, choose good. Ask God to give you the wisdom and the courage to do what is right, and He will bless you. So that is my challenge for you this week, and next week and going on is that you're always faced with the decision to do right or do wrong, right? Or do right or follow the crowd, right? And you need to have the courage to do what is right and follow what God wants you to do. And so we are going to go to small groups.